as something that is not even a microphone at all. It's like they do it on purpose. But anyway, we're all good now. So let me switch this. Okay, yeah, so we're good now.
Okay. Okay. So you just say we're live, right?
Yeah, give, give me 1 second to check the playback.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, for some reason the video's kind of skipping, but the audio's good. So yeah, so go. So yeah, so you had the whole situation with the child support thing, and you had the whole life story. So yeah, just I guess just
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me I start from the beginning. Okay. When me and the Robert's mom, we were living together. He was about 2 years old, and she decided that she didn't want to be a family no more with the three of us. So she decided to take take him and move out of town, which is what she did. But before she did, she gets on child support, and I'm paying child support for the county that we live in. And then about a year later, after she decided she wanted to move away, and she moved away, which was I didn't want that, but she moved away anyway. And I get a letter from the county in another state where she moved to, and they're telling me that I need to pay them child support. And I said, well, no, I'm already paying child support. So I didn't really know how this stuff worked. And by the way, this was back in 82. Yeah, about 1982.
Mm-hmm.
And things are different now. Matter of fact, they're probably worse
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the following year, when I'm waiting on my income tax, like people do every year, you file your income tax, you wait to get that refund. Well, instead of getting a refund, I get a letter from the county that she moved to, and I get a letter from the county that I live in, telling me that they're going to intercept my federal income taxes for child support, which I was paying for here, but I was still a little bit behind. But they're going to intercept it to keep it and apply it to my arrearage. And since she got me in the system up there, now I had an arrearage up there, so they were going to intercept it. Now, I don't have any control over that because naturally I don't want either one of them intercepted. I want it to come to me. That's my money. I can spend it. I'm already paying child support. So I can't remember which one of them intercepted first. One of them intercepted it, and then the other one was mad at me, threatening me because they didn't get it. And how crazy is that? It's just insane. But this child support stuff is crazy. The best advice I can tell people is if you get in the system, just do what they say and pay it, because if you get behind, they got all kind of ways of coming after you, all kind of ways. They take your license. Um, and it gets a certain amount depending on where you live. It can become a felony. It can become a felony if you get too far back in the rear. And another story is when I was at home. This was probably in like 93.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, he was right around 17 years old. The math might not be right, but he was about 17 years old. And I'm at home, everything moving fine. All of a sudden, I get a letter from the county that I live in. And by that time, they had moved back here, but we never got back together. I get a letter from the county I live in telling me that I'm over $10,000 in arrears. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Naturally, when you get a letter from, that's just like getting a letter from the child support people telling you owe money. It's like getting a letter from the IRS saying you owe money. Your heart starts beating fast, or it almost stops. Your whole life changes at that instant because you don't know what to do, because they're coming after you. So now I know, but even though I knew that I was not in arrears, because I still had every scrap of paper, every receipt, every money order receipt, check receipt, everything that piece of paper that I got from them since 1979, and I still have every piece till today. I mean, every single thing. So I knew I wasn't behind.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I go down there, figuring, I'm gonna go down there and we're gonna get this thing straightened out. Cause I know I'm up to date, and I looked at some of this paper, the paperwork stuff I had, so I knew I was up to date. So I go down there, figuring I'm gonna straighten stuff out. Probably me about 12:30 in the afternoon. I had to be to work at 3 p.m. because I work second shift. So I figured I'd run down there, get the stuff straightened out, and go on to work. Wrong. That didn't happen. I go down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of had a feeling that it might not go right because those people, they don't talk to you with respect. They disrespect you, and basically, when you walk in there, whatever it is, you're guilty in their eyes. That's the way they see it. Whatever it is, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
you're guilty. The sun didn't come this morning. It's your fault. You did it. No matter what it is, you're guilty.
Yeah.
So I had that in the back of my mind going in there, and that's kind of what happened. Well, here it says yours money, blah blah blah. It says yours. You're not going to get it. But let me back up. When I got that letter said, okay, I was 10,000 behind, and it also said that they were going to. Now my child support at that time, this was in 90, 92, right around 92. I was paying I think the order was right around $50 a week, which was a good amount, $50 a week.
Yeah.
But the letter told me that since I was over $10,000 in arrears, they were going to increase it from right around $50 a week to $181.92 per week. And this was on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start, since that was already coming out of my paycheck, the $50 a week was already automatically coming out of my paycheck. Mm-hmm. We're going to raise that amount from the $50 a week up to $181.92 per week, starting on your next payday, which was 2 days later. After, my payday was on Thursday. I get this letter on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, boom, that $181.92 is out of my paycheck. So
every
now,
week, yeah, and this is every week in the 90s, not like
yes,
yeah. So this is like the equivalent of maybe like now maybe like with $300 a week, maybe $400, maybe 300, I'd say.
Well, something like that, but it was basically that was more than half my paycheck every week. That's a better perspective. So no matter when, that was more than half of my paycheck every week.
Yeah,
going to her for him. Okay, so I get an attorney to go down there with me, and I hire a lady attorney because the system they treat women differently than they treat men. So I had a woman attorney, and she assured me after consultation and all that, she assured me that this is no problem. We can easily straighten this out because she's seen all the paperwork that I had. So it's no problem. We're going to straighten it out. We went down there maybe for 2 court appearances. The second court appearance, she got so mad at them, and she was trying to tell them that this is, why are you doing this to this man? You could see that he paid, and why blah blah. And so my attorney got into it with the prosecutor. Well, I don't know what to call it. It was a prosecutor. It was a magistrate court, but the people on their side. Mm-hmm. And so then naturally that person and the judge was on the same side. So the judge finally told my attorney, if you say one more word, we're going to hold you in the contempt of court. My attorney, they were going to throw my attorney in jail because they know that my attorney was bringing it out that everything was that they were saying was just wrong because it shows it right here in the paperwork. So I was able to say something. I talked to my attorney, but as I let my attorney say it, so we knew that eventually we was going to get that order dropped, and they stopped taking all that money back and put it back where it was. Mm-hmm. So I said, I had my attorney ask me this. Oh, let me go back a little bit. Even I even brought a copy of the statute that says I'm going fast. By this time, my son, he was locked up in a state facility. Mm-hmm. He was locked up in a state facility. So I said, well, since he's locked up in a state facility, and we had copied the state statutes saying that basically if a child's in a state facility, then that money should go in escrow. It says that that's the law.
Okay, so and just to be clear with escrow, because some people who may be watching or listening, they may not know what some of these words. So first I want to make clear that arrears means behind, right? Like you were behind, like they try to say you were behind by $10,000.
Yeah, that's how much I owe them that I didn't pay. So
Yeah.
that I'm out.
And just to be clear, with escrow, that's like a savings account. The money should have went to some type of storage for your son.
Right.
Okay.
I said, well, can we just let that money just go to an escrow account so when he gets out, because when he gets out of there, he was going to be 18 years old, and then that's when child support stops when he's 18 years old. But a lot of young people don't realize when a child turns 18 years old, if you still owe, if you owe back money, where you still owe that back money. Mm-hmm. See, that back money, it don't. You still owe that back money, and they still expect you to keep paying. So I want that money to go into an escrow account for him, so when he got out. But no, it was going straight to her. They said, no, we're not going to do that. We can't. We're not going to do that because when he gets out, he's going to need a place to go. Mm-hmm. I said, well, she's got a place. She's living in a place now, so that's where he can go. He go live with her, and then he'll have the money. No, she was. They were taking the money from me, and then giving it directly to her as arrearage, and she was spending that money just as fast as she can get it, because that's how most of them do. So we eventually got them to see things our way after a couple of more court appearances, and then they admit they made the mistake. I was never in arrearage. Mm-hmm. Somebody punched in the wrong numbers on my account, and it made it appear that I was in arrearage. So I'm saying, well, okay, it's a mistake, but it never should have got this far, basically. So let's reverse this. So all this money that I done paid, it was about $5,000, maybe just a little bit more than $5,000 that I had paid in arrear that I never even owed. So naturally, I wanted my money back. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody would want their money back. If you pay something that you shouldn't have paid, then you should get your money back. Yeah. Well, here comes the next option. Well, I said, well, let's say, well, we gave it to her. That's what they said. The court said, well, we gave it to her. I said, well, just get it from her and give it to me. Or you give it to me and get it from her. I don't care. Just give me my money back. But we can't do that. They're talking to me. They told me I would have to take her to court and sue her to get the money back from her. Yeah. Which is crazy. She was living off the child support. She didn't have it. She spent as fast as she come in. After 2 months of getting that money, she moved out of her apartment. She moved into a nice luxury apartment building. And I told that money up that she was getting. It was a total of around $900 a month.
Right, and this is back in the 90s. She was in a place for $900 a month.
That's how much she was getting from me totally in child support.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was around $900 a month total. $181.91 times 4, $800 or $900 a month somewhere. Yeah. And so she was using that money to move an apartment and to stay in that apartment. And the thing about it, when that money stopped, and guess what? She had to move. She had to move back into a cheaper apartment because she couldn't afford it. That money was paying for that apartment. It didn't benefit him at all.
Because he was in prison.
He was in prison. So, and I remember when I was in court, I told him in the court, I said, look, I'm paying child support for him through my taxes. And this is what the law says. The taxpayers are now supporting my child that's in prison. The state is supporting my child with tax dollars that I help pay. I said, and everybody else in here pay except for her because she don't even work. Yeah. She don't. She wasn't even working. And now I'm paying child support twice through my taxes, and you're taking it from me, and I don't even owe it. You know, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's so much I went through down there with that child support system. One time I went down there. The very first time I got in arrears, this must have been in maybe 81, because see, she went and put me in the child support system while we were living together, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Tell us how that happened.
Okay, that we're living together. I'm going to work. That's when I just started working with the company that I retired from, and but see, I didn't find this out until years later.
Okay.
Well, maybe a year, maybe about a year later, I found this out. I'm at work, and all of a sudden, my supervisor comes up to me with a certified letter at work,
Okay.
and I open this letter, and guess who it's from? It's from the child support agency, telling me I'm in arrears.
While you were
I'm in
living
a,
together. While you were living together.
okay, I'm in arrears. I don't even know that I'm in the system until I get this letter. And by the time I get this letter, I'm already in arrears.
Okay.
I can't remember how much it was, but uh, I don't know, it was under $1,000. But I mean, at that time, I was probably only making $200 a week, if that.
Mm-hmm.
So I go down there, and the judge, I'm standing in front of the judge, and he looks at me, and the first thing he does is he points his finger at me, and he says, 30 days, 30 days in jail, just like that, 30 days in jail. I mean, that was the first words to come out of his mouth to me, was 30 days in jail, just like that. Yeah. Now, I hadn't been on that job maybe about less than a year. I think I was probably still on my probationary period. If I would have done 30, I would have lost my job. I would have lost my job. But at the end of it, he said, "I'm gonna suspend those 30 days. But this is what I want you to do. This is what your choice." He said, when you get paid?" I said, "On a Thursday." He said, "By the end of the day on Thursday, you're gonna bring $50 down here until this arrears is paid, and until that money is paid, that's what you're gonna do every week." And Thursday, by the end of the day on Thursday, every week, if you haven't paid that money, come Friday morning, there's going to be a warrant out for your arrest, and then you're going to do those 30 days in jail. Mm-hmm. I mean, what choice do you have? What choice? You don't have any choice. Yeah. And so, and we're living together at this time.
Yeah, so you were living together. So while you two were living together, she went down to wherever to fill out the paperwork.
Yes.
It didn't say anything to you, huh?
No, I was working second shift, and that's what she would do. I work second shift. I would start at 7 a.m. in the morning work. Mm-hmm. So when I'm at work, she gets up. She's getting up, and she's going downtown to the child support office to give them all the information to put me in the system.
And it smiled in your face when you got back home.
Yeah, like nothing never happened. Like I said, it was a long time before I even knew I was in the system. But we got past that. We got past that. I mean, because a lot of guys were just up and left. But in a way we couldn't, because we didn't have no money at that time. So, and we were living in my mom's house. We weren't living there, but we were living in my mom's house at that time. Mm-hmm. So she would get up in the morning. Now, my mom was watching the baby while she go down there and put me in the system. I'm sure my mom didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of stuff women, they'll do that kind of stuff. She go down there and put me in the system while living in my mom's house while I'm at work. And then I get home, and it's just everything like business as usual,
So where do you think she would even get the idea? Because since you're since you two you're living together in your mom's house, my grandma's house. You all were mm-hmm. living together. She's there with you and the kid. Where would she even get the idea and the audacity to go behind your back to thoroughly think out to have the government just literally just take money out of your check and give it directly to her while you two are living together with your mom.
Yeah,
Like
well,
where would that audacity from a grown woman? Where would the audacity even come from?
from friends and relatives and going and actually talking to people in the system because that system they were um, they're against the fathers automatically anyway. So all she got to do is just get in touch with them for anything, and they'll tell them what to do. They tell them what to do, and they'll tell them what to do and guide them through the system. And think about it. And when they do stuff wrong to women, they don't get in any trouble. They don't get in any trouble at all. They can, and if you do the exact same thing, well, they'll threaten to lock you up in jail. I've never known, and I've known quite a few women that were paying child support over the years. I've never ever known one of them to spend not a day in jail, even if they don't pay. Let a guy don't pay child support.
Yeah,
you might as well forget the best thing guys can do if you're in that system, just pay it, and with your try to get your side hustles on so you can make money that they can't find out. But because every couple of years they will do an evaluation of your income, they'll check your taxes, and when you make more money, guess what? They're going to take more money. The more you make, the more they take. It's as simple as that. And if you do get a second or a third job on this, a regular job on the side where you're getting a paycheck where you're paying taxes and you don't tell them, oh, don't worry about it. They'll catch up with you down the road. Even if you get that job and work for 6 months or a year and don't say nothing about it, they will find out about it. It might take them a year or two to find out, and they're going to estimate how much you should have paid doing that, and then you're going to owe that. You're going to have to pay it back. You're going to pay it back one way or other. But those systems, and no matter what county you're in, at least here in the United States, it's pretty much the same. And they say at one time this was one of the worst counties to be in for a man that's paying child support is right here in the county that I'm in. But I think they're all bad. But it's a nightmare, and especially if you don't get along, if you and her don't get along with each other and stuff like that. And I remember one time when, after some time had went past, and by this time the child was maybe 13 or 14. This was before the over $10,000 everything. And she was, she called me because she's always begging for money, asking for, give her some money or such that. I would give her some every now and then. But so she called me and she says, well, I just can't make my bill and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking about going down there to the child support office and do it. And I said, no, don't do that. Don't do me like this. You stay away from them people. Don't go down there and ask for no more money because we know what they're going to do. So I said, and she was intent on doing it. So I told her, look, this is what we do. I'll give you X amount of dollars a week. Just don't go there. Just don't be going down there. Because the child support was a little bit lower than what it should have been because my pay had increased and they never raised it. And I didn't want to go down there disturbing, like you see a hornet's nest, you don't go disturb it, you leave it alone. So I told her, I'll give you X amount of dollars, I don't know, $25, $30 a week. That's all she needed. And you don't go down there. So I started giving her this money to not go down there. Well, guess what? She went down there anyway. And looking back at the timeline, she went down there after I gave her money the first week. That's when she went down. She went on down anyway. She kept getting money probably for the next 2 months. And then I found out she went down there a week after I gave her the first money. You just can't trust them.
After you gave her, you literally handed her the money, and then she still chose to go down there and just because why? It's an option for her,
Yeah.
It's an option. There's no consequence for it.
No, there's none. There's zero consequence. There's zero consequence because and really, if you look at it, I can understand because she can't get in trouble for them for doing it. But she lied. I mean, and throughout the whole time I've known her, it's just been one lie after the other, one lie after another. But I felt sorry for her. I tried to help her. That was my son. I mean, so I mean, I'm supposed to help out, but I'm not supposed to give her everything she wants. I mean, it's supposed to be a two-way street. She's supposed to be doing something too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But see, if they got their way, you'll pay for everything, not just for the child, but for them too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they'll live off of you. The woman, she'll live off of you if she can. You know, she'll live off, and she want enough money where they can buy this, they can buy clothes, they can get their hair done, they can get their nails done, and everything like that, and whatever they want to. Because that's what she was doing with that $181.92 a week that she was getting. She got that new apartment. She started getting her hair done more, her nails done, and stuff like that. I'm like, you're not my child.
Yeah.
You're not my child. You know, why should I be supporting you? Basically, well, not totally supporting, but mostly supporting you at all. Me and you are supposed to be supporting the child,
Yeah.
but the system feel like that.
Well,
You know,
and in my live stream last night, I was going on a rant because we were watching this guy called he has a it's his I think he's Japanese guy. He has a channel called he's called Tech Lead, and he worked at Facebook and Google, and he and he made a lot of money and all that, right? So and so his wife or his ex wife just abandoned he just not abducted his son and took him back to Japan and has him paying 5,000 a month in child support. And like and tell me what you think about this. I think that in reality, child support is nothing more than just a stimulus check for the local economy.
yeah.
Because I mean because my opinion is all these courts and law, all these courts and the people working in there is in my opinion, okay, there's no scientific study that shows giving women any total control like that is ever going to lead to any actual like human growth as far as
No,
like you know
matter of fact, it's the complete opposite.
yeah, there's no study. So with that logic, the only logical conclusion I come to is they know that if they can get the money out of you and give it to her, then she'll go run out into the world and just give the money right back to the world. It's just I think it's a stimulus.
Well, but season two is also see they benefit too because every child support payment made it has a little bit of that is called poundage.
Okay.
That's they cut. That's they cut out of it. They get a little piece of every piece of that child support payment also, and the rest of it gets forwarded to her.
Okay.
So they got an interest in they want to collect it because they're going to get a little piece of every single payment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they really have a good reason on collecting those payments or whatever they get from you to pass on to her. Well, guess what? They're gonna get a small slice of that also for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why they do it. But when it comes to the women paying child support, they're really easy on them. You know, they're really easy on them. Even if the woman makes the same amount that a man makes, they don't. The woman don't. They don't make the women pay as much as the man would pay. Even the finance would be exactly the same. At least here in this county, because I've actually seen it. I've seen the paperwork.
Okay.
They make the same amount, but the woman don't have to pay as much as the man would pay if he was paying. It's crazy.
Yeah, and my theory based off the stimulus thing is because my theory at least is that men will eventually grow. At some point, men will mentally mature to start actually planning for survival, for actual survival. And if you leave it to a man, he'll get as far off of the grid as possible, which indirectly means less money being spent. Whereas like women typically they don't have that. Say woman's whole focus in life is how much she could spend and how much material BS she can accumulate, because that defines her. So like yeah. So in my theory, the reason my immediate, relatively with a grain of salt theory is because men just won't spend. Men will not spend as much money. There's more money in a woman than there is in a man. and getting money
definitely.
out of them. There's more money in a woman than a man. Anything that has to do with a woman, there's more money in that.
Yeah, definitely. Collected, they're gonna run out and spend it. They're gonna run out and spend it, and all that spending where that helps them in the economy. Men, I mean, we'll spend it too, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like women.
yeah,
See, women, they most women they pretty much they live for right now, today. Forget about tomorrow. I'm not saving. I'm not saving no money putting aside. No, I'm gonna spend it
yeah.
because I'm a woman and I know the system will help me get more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I got a child or connected to a man. Don't even get to talking about alimony and things like that. It's crazy. It's just crazy. A lot of times it's better off to. I mean, it's definitely good to be married and and raise children, raise your children.
Mm-hmm.
But when something goes wrong, guess who's gonna guess who's gonna be the one to pay for it? The man.
Oh
The
yeah.
man's gonna pay for it. So sometimes with some guys they feel it's best to just stay single.
Yeah.
But but staying single is good. Just don't get nobody pregnant. Don't run around dropping these babies around. Cause sooner or later it's gonna catch up with. Now some of these women they won't take in child support. Cause I know some they won't do it for
Yeah.
various reasons. Cause there are some women out here that will work and just take care of the baby on their own and just cut the guy out of their life completely. They don't want nothing else to do with it. Because one reason that they do this it's a they think about it a lot because once if they put the man in the system, then the man has visitation rights.
Okay.
If the man's not in, at least, and that's how it works here in this county. If she puts him in a system where he's paying child support, then he's entitled to visitation right to visit the child, and the child can come and maybe spend the weekend with. He has that right. She can't take it away. But if he's not in the system paying child support, then he has no rights at all as far as visitation or anything like that.
Okay.
And so some women that they would rather just not have the guy there, and they would struggle and stuff just so that the guy won't have any contact with the child.
Mm-hmm.
And but see, a lot of them they'll find somebody else and have another child, and then that guy, she'll kind of be okay. But the child whose father is not around, well, that child a lot of times those children get treated differently even by the mom.
Okay.
Because I hate your dad, so so that hate spills over to the child, and it's always there underlying. So they're going to get treated a little bit differently from the child whose father she can tolerate, and probably every now and then screwing,
Mm-hmm.
on the side,
Mm-hmm.
even if she's married to somebody else. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just insane. But I'm not saying there aren't some good women out there, because there are. They're just hard to find.
Yeah. And
But
it's I said last night, like it's like buying a car. Like
yeah,
even if you go to the dealership and buy a brand new Lamborghini, well, and it looks good, and all that, it could still break down on you within 6 months of you buying it, just because it's in the end it's a complete gamble, I think.
well, yeah, but see, yeah, let's look at it with car. They're all going to break down eventually, but
Yeah.
you got to maintain. If you maintain, I mean, it's just like a woman. If you can maintain that woman mentally, at least get her to close to where you want to be, or she might, if she's not already equipped to think halfway right, you can kind of keep them on the right track with a car too. You do the maintenance on it, things will last a lot longer, and you won't have nowhere near the problem. But if you get a car that's got a whole lot of other little bitty things wrong with them, just like a woman, if you get one that's got a whole lot of mental stuff, trauma in her background, trauma and a lot of stuff like that, where there's stuff in her head, is same with a car that got all these little problems. That the wiring is bad over there, and that light will go on and off every now and then. Same with a person's mind. If something's wrong with their mind, they got little quirks about them that you just don't like, or a side to them or personality to them that's just not right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you straighten that stuff out, but a lot of times you can't. So it's kind of the same analogy, but it's hard finding. It's hard finding the perfect car, and it's hard finding the perfect woman. you know.
Yeah, you're like with cars. Like some cars, you can go get a car that looks like a piece of junk, and the thing will last. Won't you won't have any problems with it as long as you just
Yeah,
keep it oil changed.
yeah,
And then some cars you can go out and get brand new from the dealership and doesn't
yeah.
look like anything's wrong with it, and it break down 4 months later, have electrical
Oh yeah,
problems and everything. So like,
yeah. I'm saying there's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, you know,
yeah,
and see that's kind of an analogy to most of these women, American women especially. Most of a lot of them, they look nice, but when you open the hood or open their brain, it's a mess in there.
as soon as they
It's a
start
mess,
talking, yeah, yeah,
you know. And so, soon as they, as soon as they start talking, you can see what you're dealing with. Now, but some of them are slick now. Some of them know how to talk, and some of them might take an hour or two
mm-hmm.
to actually see something. But some of them you can tell right away. But everything on them is perfect. Their nails are done, their hair is done, their skin is clear, the clothes are just right. I mean, everything is right, and they can even talk right for a little while.
Yeah,
But the more time you spend around them, then you get to see the flaws that are in them. And,
mm-hmm.
and, and, and then you get to see that it's fake. It's all fake.
Yeah, yeah,
They're covering up the real person. They put on that fake persona out there to lure you in
mm-hmm.
and slowly get you to just kind of look over this and look over that. And next thing you know, you're in so deep to where you're in so deep it's hard to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's basically it's a trap. But there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of really simple ways to avoid traps like that. It's basically just get to know somebody first. Get to know them first. Spend time with them and watch them. Watch them. Watch how they treat other people. Just sit back, like you go to a restaurant and say something's wrong to order. Just sit back and just watch how do they treat the waitress or
That's
the
what I
waiter.
say. Yeah, I say this. We never talked about that, but I say the same thing. How do they treat people who are lesser than them? Yeah,
Yeah, how do they treat people like that?
yeah,
And do they get a little angry or mad? But most of them are not going to do that stuff right off.
mm-hmm.
That's why you got to. Sometimes it could take a month or so, or maybe longer or shorter. But you're not going to find somebody out. I mean, sometimes you find people out in the first time you meet them, but most time it takes longer to find a real person.
Mm-hmm.
How do they treat other people, and how do they talk about other people? What they think when they see a woman that looks better than them. You know, how? But not only what they say, you got to watch their body language, their movements, and their attitudes. And sometimes you can even feel the vibes from them, how they're acting, how they treat others. And if they treat other people bad and talk about other people, guess what? They're gonna do the same thing to you.
Oh
They'll
yeah,
do the same.
yeah.
That's just how it works. It's just how it works. You know. But getting involved with the wrong type of woman, which is it's very easy to do, and most guys do it because they go after looks. They go after looks.
Yeah.
Everybody wants somebody that looks nice, but that's usually a bad sign. And the better they look, the prettier they are, the more stunning they are. It's a good chance the more problems they're gonna have in their head.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
are they just not right? I mean, I found that to be, but not in all cases. But you know,
So,
it's got to
huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just you just have to educate yourself and
Yeah.
do a lot of reading. You know,
So, can you walk us through a story of when she moved? She moved to a different county, like from the beginning, like how that took place. Because by this point, you two were living together, like in an apartment, right?
that's when the son was born. When my son, well, we weren't living with that. We were living there with him at that time. He was 2 years old.
Okay.
But we had moved. We had lived in several apartments before then. Because
Okay.
we lived with my mom. We got past that incident about her going in and putting me in the system, and so and so we moved to two other different apartments, and then we moved out to that apartment where Because we was always getting into it. I mean, I be working. I come home from work, and as soon as I come home from work, she accusing me of this, accusing me of that, and just stupid stuff. And so then she decided she was gonna. She told me she was gonna leave. But by this time, she had got herself back in the college. She was going to school. I had two cars.
Okay.
I had a big car and a little car. The big car I was driving back and forth to work. The little car I let she was driving. I let her drive it. So she drove. So she thought it was hers. So she just told me that she was gonna. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving out because I don't want to be around you no more. Blah blah. So I said, okay, look. I said, look. You done this twice. Cause see, every time we moved, it was always her apartment, and it was always her stuff.
Okay.
Furniture and everything was hers. So, and she did me like that two times. And I said, this time, I said, this is the third. I said, look, if you leave this time, I said, I don't want you to leave. But if you leave me again, I'm not going to take you back. So you think about it. I'm not going to take you back again. Mm-hmm. So she decided to leave. She had two of her. She had the married couple. A friend came over. I knew him too, and came over and helped her move. And I got there. They had the U-Haul truck. I helped her move. Mm-hmm. I helped them. I helped them load the stuff in the truck. They took everything. Left me with a mattress. I think one set of curtains, one plate, one spoon, one fork, and one plate, and one pot. All this stuff that she didn't want anyway. And that's the only reason she left it. That's it. They took everything. Mm-hmm. Took the light bulbs. I mean, took everything.
Everything.
So yeah. So the little car that she had been driving probably for like 4 or 5 months was next time I see all this stuff loaded in that car. I said, why is that stuff in that car? Because we take up there. I said, no. I said, yeah, you're not taking my car. Mm-hmm. I said, that's my car. You're not taking my car. Mm-hmm. So she went. They got the stuff out of the car and stuffed in the truck, and well, she was going to take
your. She was under. She's at this point. Her entitlement level is so high that she did not even hesitate while she's moving and leaving you there to pack with stuff in a car that she knows full well that is yours.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Cause she and she knows my car. I mean, she was with me when I bought it.
I mean, isn't it just amazing how just the sense of entitlement that has to take?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything I want is mine. Everybody owes me everything. I just take whatever I want. Well, no, you can't take what you want from me. No, you're not taking my car. You're just not taking my car. Now, I feel sorry. So, to fast forward that a little bit, then they had the truck loaded. They had my car loaded with stuff, and then they had their car, the couple. They had a car that loaded stuff in their car. So they took stuff out of my car, and they put something in the truck. They was able to get it in those two vehicles. Mm-hmm. And they left. But I told her, look, if you leave, if you do this time, this is it. I'm not going to take you back. I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So she left. About 6 months later, 6 to 8 months later, I get a phone call.
Okay.
Can we come back? No, you can't come back. I told you before you left. Well, let me back a little bit. When we were living together, we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment, okay? Mm-hmm. But then I couldn't afford a 2-bedroom apartment, so I had to move to a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
It wasn't much of a move because I didn't have nothing but a mattress, a set of curtains, a plate, fork, spoon, cup, and a pan. Mm-hmm. I have that. I mean, that was it. It ain't like I had a whole lot of, and I'm just naming it. No, that was all I had. A mattress. I didn't even have a blanket or a sheet, just a mattress laying on the floor.
Okay. Yeah.
One plate, spoon, fork, knife, cup, and a pan. That's it. in the apartment. So I moved to a 1-bedroom apartment. So she called me 6 months later. Can we come back? No, you're not coming back here. You come back to the city. You can't. You're not getting back with me. I'm not doing this no more. And I told you. And I told you, I don't want you to do this. And if you do it, I'm not taking you back. Mm-hmm. So I didn't take her back. Never. We never lived in the same household again.
So, what happened with the child? So when she moved out there, Tell me
Yeah,
about the living. I remember you told me about the living conditions, about how she was living out. I think was that when she was out there and where her son was like how he was using the bathroom in like a bucket or something like that.
no,
Okay,
no,
that's not that story. Okay.
no, that's not that story. No, but where she lived, she went to another state. What that he was peeing in a bucket house, that was right here in this city here.
Okay.
But it's just so many different stories. I mean, you know, but she left. She was up there maybe I don't know how long they was up there, maybe about a year. And something was going on up there that wasn't right, and they was in danger. So we went up there and got him and brought him back here to Cincinnati. But she didn't come back to my place.
Mm-hmm.
We got him back here, and I can't remember where they went, but we got him back here. I mean, she had to get out of there immediately because I mean their lives were in danger. At least that was the story that she gave me, and I kind of believe it. I believe it. So me and my mom and sister, because my car wouldn't have made it. I didn't trust my car driving that far. It was probably about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So we got in my sister's car. We went up there. Um, they left out. It was just the clothes on their back and whatever they can carry in their hands quickly. I mean, it wasn't like we put up there and we sitting out there going in for half an hour. No, we didn't even get we didn't really even get out the car. We pulled up. They jumped in the car and we took off.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was something I really don't want to get into, but it was on up there and got him out of there because then it was a bad situation. And from the story that she told me, and I pretty much believe this because some of it I was able to verify. So he got back here, and so the child support system up there, well, once they had intercepted my taxes, and I never heard anything else about them anymore. I never heard anything else from them or close it up or anything. I don't know what happened to that, but they did intercept my taxes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're the ones that intercept them. They intercept them.
The other state. The other state took the taxes.
The other,
so
yeah,
so
the other.
did she have to go and actually? So she was getting child support from that area and well, everybody knows I'm from Ohio because I always say it in there. So she did she have to actually go fill out? And she was getting two different child support checks at this point, or what happened with that?
She was getting child support from two different counties in two different states at the same time.
So she went down there knowing that she was getting the child support originally from the first place, and then when she moved, she went there again and did the whole. Okay, keep for those who's watching, keep in mind that she was already getting the first child support payments. She then pretty much does what Tech Lead's ex-wife did. Just takes the kid and just leaves. Moves to another state, gets child support, goes into the office while she's still getting the first payments, goes to the office and applies and gets second payments from that state.
Mm-hmm.
Did she get in trouble for that? I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
We broke up. What did you say?
I was just kind of like just saying like did she get in trouble for that? I doubt it.
No. Oh no. If anything, they probably rewarded her for it.
Yeah, probably gave her a sign-on bonus for her bravery.
He did a good job. We done put him a few feet deeper in his grave.
Yeah. Give her a sign-on bonus for that.
Yeah. No. They don't get in trouble. They don't get in trouble for stuff like that. Now, if a man even thought about doing something like that, he'd be behind bars. But
oh yeah, they'll confiscate your computer and come in and just you couldn't even go back home. They'll go search every corner. You would immediately be just the devil walking the earth.
Yeah,
at this point, immediately.
But them takes off. I mean, here because when you're in arrears here, this was back in the 80s. If you're in arrears here, they can come and they can take your possessions. It's like anything that you own. I think over if you got anything over five if you over $500, they like a car or something, they can take it and sell it and put that money towards your arrearage.
Okay. I didn't know
You know
that.
that's yeah yeah they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
They can take your car. I know there's one guy back when we were growing up, and we all grew up kind of poor, and we got like 18, 19, 20, and he walking around. Well, he finally got him a little car, started putting rims on it, stereo and stuff like that in it. It was an old car, but it was nice. All that stuff, and getting out there and buying clothes and stuff, saving money. And so he doing all this to attract women.
Mm-hmm.
Get that, and he attracted women, but you don't see what all come behind. He attracted women. He got one pregnant. I seen it. He got one pregnant and got in that system, and it wasn't too much longer than that. I mean, he wasn't dressing like he used to dress at all. He was in work clothes all the time, dirty work clothes. He didn't even have a car no more. I don't know if they took his car or what happened. I don't know. All of a sudden, about a year or two later, he didn't have no car no more. He was back home living with his mom at 18, 19, 20 years old. Back home living with his mom, no car, working, not and no the clothes, all that stuff's gone. Cause see he done all this stuff to make himself attractive where he can get women,
Mm-hmm.
then getting with the women, and then that's what puts him back to where he was.
Yeah.
You know, because you guys go ahead, they get these women pregnant, and then watch the system, and I realize that that's not a good thing at all. You know,
Because all that does to women is like, all that does is just so the women can look and tell who will be who will be a potentially good workhorse for them later in life.
oh yeah,
To
yeah.
feed their lifestyle. Like you be a good workhorse. You got a Corvette and these nice clothes. Well, I think I can have a Corvette later. They just spotting out the workhorses at that point.
The ones that are progressive do, but a whole lot of, especially when they're in their younger years, a whole lot of them, they don't all they want. They want sex just like the guy wants sex. That's all they want is sex.
Yeah.
And next thing they got a baby.
Yeah.
And see a lot of these women in the lower income neighborhoods, the trashier the guy, the more street guy, he ain't got none. Those are the guys that got all these. Those are the guys that got the bulk of the babies out here, because they're the cool guys that the girls think is cool. That's out having sex with all these other girls. They got all these girlfriends.
Yeah.
And they get somebody like that. But the ones that are progressive and they think a little bit ahead, well, yeah, they're gonna look at the guy that's got something. The ones that got some sense. I mean, I get it. I mean, because if I was a female, I mean, why would I go somebody? Why would I go to somebody that's got less than me? That don't make any sense. So I got to give those ones a little bit credit for doing that. And that should make the guys think about it. If you got something, you got to protect it. You got to know why this woman is coming after you or even getting with you.
Yeah. You put thought in the reality of it. Yeah.
The best thing to do is like they say, stay in your lane. Stay with people that's on the same level as you are. Because when you get on somebody with a lower level, I mean, see, they know they ain't got nowhere to go but up. Because they're going to pull off of you. And guess what? And then you're going to come down. But if you get somebody on your same level, then everything is good. But it's the same way with women that's got money. Women that's got money, most of them, they're not going to take up with a guy that's got less than them.
No.
They're not.
That's illegal in woman nature. Yeah.
But
they're not going to take up and then actively be seen and be known to be dating that guy and all that. No.
But let me rephrase that. It might sound contradictory. They will, but yeah, they're not going to be doing. They'll get in for one night stand or just something to have on the side for sex. That's it.
Yeah.
And if they're unattractive or fat or something like that, they might even pay for a little bit of stuff here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But on the whole, especially the ones that looking nice, you might as well forget it. They ain't going to give if you working at Wendy's or McDonald's or even Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
and they're pulling in $89,000 a year. They wouldn't even tell you what time it is.
Oh yeah,
If you
you
ask,
just don't exist. Yeah.
no, you don't. You're invisible.
Yeah, like totally invisible. Yeah.
You're invisible to them. But guys are different. Cause you can get one of these little trampy women out here, the ones with all the tight clothes on, that's trying to check everything. And I mean, you got CEOs after them,
Yeah. Because
but
man
they ain't
just wants woman. That's it. Man just wants woman.
visual. Men are visual,
Yeah.
and women are emotional. And everything women, most of them do, everything do is emotions.
Yeah.
But men are just visual. Men are visual. As long as it look good, as long as it look good, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. But
Yeah.
most of the time, but I don't want to marry him. I want, you know, I want to hit it and move on. But see, sometimes when you hit it and then you keep going back and hitting it, and then you start getting a little feelings for it, then that's definitely when it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're gonna have their hands out. Because it's always gonna be something. If it ain't something right now, it's gonna be something later.
Mm-hmm.
If they got a car, well, my car broke down. Can you help me fix it? Or whatever. Something, some kind of money somewhere.
Yeah.
Or every time you go somewhere, guess who's paying? You're paying.
Yeah.
Get somebody that's got something. Get somebody that's got something. Because if you're the one with the money, guess what? You're going to be the one that's paying for the bulk, mostly, or everything, or everything, or most everything.
Well, yeah.
And then
Huh.
and then she's gonna need money. And whatever money that you give her, you better believe there's some guys out there, some other guys somewhere that's going to be benefiting from the money or the help that you give to her.
Oh yeah, I say
And
that all the time too. Yeah. Yeah.
and why would you wanna pay for this guy's lunch or dinner or clothes? Because whatever you're giving her, some of that, there's another guy that's benefiting from it. And I don't particularly care to be helping some dude that I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing. That's why I don't give women nothing. I don't give women nothing, even the trashy one.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go out to eat and I'll pay for it. But other than that, that's about it. I'm not going to say, well, my phone bill is due. Can you give me some money to help pay? No, I'm not going to pay your phone bill. So
No,
I'm not going to pay.
yeah.
Your bill. That's yours. I'm going to pay your phone bill so you can call your other dude to come over to your house.
Yeah. But see, and that is the other thing that's just amazingly. It's like, this is why I try to tell you guys, on the channel, on my channel, all the time, is that women, when it comes to this, like, they genuinely, like I don't say, definitely not all women, but I say a lot of women that you're gonna come across on average in the world, women genuinely don't make any rules or morals. They, just like you said, the audacity of your child's mother. She was with you when you bought the car, and and it was just it's amazing how normal it is for them to just automatically just assume something's theirs and they can just do whatever they want with it, and they don't. And there's no genuine sense of morals, in my opinion. The only reason why women even attempt it is because they know men like to hear that women have morals. But in my opinion, they genuinely, at the core, a lot of them, when pushed, they genuinely don't have it.
Yeah, but I want to interject something in that conversation. There's two scenarios working there. Like, either they don't have morals, or they just feel entitled, but sometimes with women, they, like with the car incidents,
Mm-hmm.
Now she knows it's my car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where she have morals, not just feel entitled. I think, and I know women do this, I think they'll just do it because they think that you're going to say, oh, well, just go ahead. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, we'll just go ahead, Because, they know, they know what's going on. But if they can get it however they can get it, they'll take it, Because she knows it's my car. She know ain't no paperwork. She ain't signed nothing. She ain't came out of her pocket with nothing. So how do you think it's yours?
To just take it 4 hours away. It's like she thought she was moving like around the corner. I could even kind of see if she may have thought, okay, I'm just gonna move around the corner. So I mean, I could even kind of understand that a little bit. But
I can't because you moved. because we're splitting up. So
Yeah.
why are you taking my car even half a block away? No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it, no. You moving over there, then the way you get around your mode of transportation, that's your problem. This is my car. It ain't going half a block away. It ain't going
Yeah.
to another state.
Right.
Ain't
Right.
going
Right.
no.
Yeah. Hey, so real quick, I just want to shout to the donations from RBT and Spurtumcast. And Spurtumcast says, "You don't know how much I appreciate your content." And still, he said, "Fuck Patreon," because Patreon shut my channel down. I told you about that for the hate speech thing. Yeah, he said some donations, and people have been commenting. You pretty much like thanking you for like he said one NRG says someone should make a channel with just these types of stories. I can't believe what I'm hearing. LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to like skim through the comments. Nick says dad's dropping gems. Yeah, and about the guy who you were talking about who had the car, he said he could attract them, but it was clueless to their nature. How he, you said he wasn't dressing the same and all that again.
Right.
So yeah, there's been a bunch of comments coming in, but yeah, so yeah, thanks for for doing the phone call and sharing the stories again.
Well, that's great, man. We can do it again, because I mean, I got a lot of I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in my life. I've learned a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time, you think but down the road you find out you didn't really know, but
Mm-hmm.
you didn't really know what you thought you knew, and the longer you go and the more things you go through, you really get to see how things work in life. Because when you're in your 30s and 40s, 20, 30, 40, naturally you think you know everything, but you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And when you're in 60s, when you don't know everything, but you know a lot because you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot. But yeah, this was really interesting. We're gonna have to do this again. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get off here now because I got some things I got to get done.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, thanks for calling in. Yeah, because you're on the other side of the world. Yeah, it's 8:30 here. It's 8:30 p.m. here.
Yeah, it's 2:30 p.m. here, and um, I'm getting ready to get busy doing some things, and I'll be on that side of the world soon.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, thanks for calling in, and I'll let you go. Right.
All right, talk to you.